Hello, friends. We're going to do a quick screencast over the supply notes and supply problem set to help you get that finished. Um, sorry. So here we go. In the module, you see supply notes, problem set 4. Those are the things that you need to do this. I'm also going to add the chapter from the book, which you'll use for your assignment at home on Thursday or Friday. So I have the supply notes open here, which you want to have open, and then you also have your problem set. Yesterday, and Monday we did the first three here. We did the individual supply schedule and individual supply graph. If you go to your announcements or agenda, in the agenda for the 20th and 21st, here is, or you can just pause it and copy it from here. Here is the market schedule that you would use for your problem set for right here. So just copy that into this spot right here. Again, it's these are the ones you're going to use, and then just make a graph for that, okay? And I also included from our example in class for number 1, the example about the supply of cookies increasing. Now, yesterday we looked at input costs here, and what you want to say is increasing supply here, and this one over here is decreasing supply. The plus and minus we're supposed to do that, but I don't think that's obvious to most students the way I did it. So I need to kind of change that. So input cost scenario 2. So here in 1 is where you put what are input costs, how do they affect supply, and then you scenario or example. So we said yesterday, like if the price of sugar increases, if the price of sugar decreases, the supply of sugar increases. And when we did that, we drew a graph underneath here that looked like that one. And you can just copy that one if you don't have it in your paper. Okay, so and then if input costs are your cost of production. So if I make cheeseburgers, for example, and I have to buy meat, if the price of meat were to increase, then I would decrease my supply of cheeseburgers. Okay. Now in some classes we started subsidies and taxes. I have those here. Here's input costs, and here's another graph for watermelon showing an increase in supply. For those of you that either weren't in class or are remote, you want to study this graph and use this as a model for increasing supply. I have a demand curve that goes down. I have 2 supply curves. Actually, this should be supply curve 1 and that's supply curve 2. That's a mistake. I'm sorry. So the black S1 should be S1 and the green S should be S2. So my supply curve shifts to the right, showing an increase in supply, and my price drops and my quantity increases. So at EQ, my price decreases and my quantity increases. Okay? Sorry, I'm going a little fast, but I'm on a 5-minute timer again. All right, so subsidies we talked about yesterday, but this is when the government pays people to make a product that would encourage or increase supply. So for your example, you just need the government to subsidize something and for the supply of it to increase. When the government taxes something, that leads to a decrease in supply because the supplier doesn't want to have to pay the tax. They'll still supply it, but they'll just supply less of it. On your problem set, you have number of suppliers right here. So again, for number of suppliers in box 1, you just write this, more suppliers equals more supply, less suppliers equals less supply. Example for less suppliers, if Filiberto's went out of business, sad day, the supply of burritos and mix would decrease. Here, I have a graph that shows a decrease in supply for blue cheese. So again, for decreasing supply, you can use this as your model, and you make your graphs look like this. This one's perfect. I only have 30 seconds left, so just use that as your model. Future future price expectations. As you see on your paper, this only works one way. If I expect the price to go up in the future, I hold on to my supply, decreasing the current supply, shifting the supply to the left until the price goes up. And then I put my supply back on the market and I sell.